Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to LJTV. How's everyone doing? I feel good today. You want to know why? I just paid all my bills. Mm, what a good feeling. There's gas in my car, too. Oh, the feeling is, oh my God. Anyone else know about that feeling? Greatest thing in the world. So today, my girl, Venus Williams, man, for those who don't know that are listening, Venus Williams was involved in a fatal crash last month, in June 22nd, actually. She was involved in a fatal car crash where there was an intersection. She pulls off, looks both ways, lights green, and she goes across the intersection. And I believe the light turned red and the other one turned green at the same time. She was almost across the intersection, and an elderly couple smashes into her car. One of them dies, unfortunately. And now in the news, they're trying to sue Venus Williams for wrongful death. And now she's denying that she killed anybody because, according to the car's computer, one of them didn't have their seatbelt on. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to deny that. I didn't kill nobody. One of the guys, or the person that died, didn't have their seatbelt on. So all the allegations that you have aren't going to stand. So the heck with it. And it's like, oh man, what are you going to do now, Venus? So I want to read some stuff from the New York Times that I have up right here. It was a Toyota SUV in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, around 1 p.m. on June 9th. And according to the police department, she collided with a car being driven by Linda Barson. Barson's husband, Jerome, who was 78 years old, was a passenger in the car, and he died from injuries sustained in the crash. So I'm going to assume that he was the one that didn't have the seatbelt on. And it says, according to the lawsuit filed on Thursday, obtained by the New York Times, Linda Barson, who is 68 years old, she also had injuries, including a cracked sternum, shattered right arm, broken wrist, hand, and fingers. I'd say she was in pretty bad shape. And where Venus was going at that time was her Wimbledon tennis tournament is what she was headed to, but the fatal crash took precedence over that. So she did release some a public statement. Said she was heartbroken by the accident and sending her prayers and condolences, yada yada, like everyone says, but they don't pray and they don't send any condolences whatsoever. And I want to know, why do people say this? Is this a failed attempt to soothe someone from the loss of life? Say, oh, my condolences, my prayers out to you, even though you haven't prayed a day in your life. What is that? Why do people say that? I never really understood. If you say you're gonna pray for me, I want to start praying in front of me. How about that? Like, I'm not gonna take your word for it because I don't believe half the stuff people say anyway. And the top that what Venus has said, when she says I'm heartbroken by the whole thing, she had put that on Facebook. Like, really? So you're a world star tennis champion and you're going to say all that on Facebook? Like, come on. Like, really? Like, get on TV and say it. Like, so people can see your face when you're saying this. Don't just quickly type up something on your phone and just expect that just to be that. But aside from that, the accident, when it happened, it said she was going about 5 miles an hour across the intersection. I forgot to mention this. She was going about 5 miles an hour across the intersection when they're trying to put Venus Williams at fault for not yielding the right of way. But some other documents saying that their light was, about to turn red or turn yellow, about to turn red or whatever. And they just smashed into her car. So I think they're just trying to get some money from her. That's what I'm thinking right about now. Even though she was across the intersection, she looked left, right, left, and proceeded. She was almost out of the intersection, and then she got hit. It's like, There's no way that you couldn't have seen her SUV crossing. And this is where I have a problem with older people driving. I mean, these people were in their 70s driving an SUV too, and that hit into her vehicle. It's like, okay, you're almost 80 years old. Why are y'all out driving and driving that fast where it killed somebody in your car though? It killed somebody in your car that didn't have a seatbelt on. Like, most elderly people, I don't believe should be driving because they do, they can't see as well and they can't react as fast, as someone that's a little bit younger. And that does pose a problem sometimes. I've even seen it, like being out in traffic, we got those elderly couples, like, they're all hunched up on the steering wheel trying to look over the dashboard, driving like 20 miles an hour on a 50-mile-an-hour road or whatever, and it's creating a traffic jam. People trying to swerve past and all this while they're driving like super slow. They even do that on the freeway, even in the slower fast lane or whatever, and they all just drive super slow, can't see, and it's even worse at nighttime. Like, I don't get it. Like, if you can't drive, if you have a hard time seeing or hearing or reacting to situations, you shouldn't be driving. Really, have someone take you. Even though some elderly people, are able-bodied to get in the car and go, not all of them are. Especially if they, forget to put a seatbelt on and something happens to them. It's like, you gotta weigh out your options here. I honestly think the fatality could have been, shouldn't have happened really if the person inside the vehicle that hit Venus Williams had their seatbelt on. That's the first thing you do. You get in your car, check your mirrors, put your seatbelt on, start the car, back up, look over your shoulder, do it like that, right? You just don't hop in the car and just take off. Something's bound to happen to you. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment on what you think. Who's at fault here? Is it Venus or is it the elderly couple? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Sorry, LJTV123, and thank you for listening.